Hi there, my name's Liz. I'm from the Gateway Church and I've been part of Gateway since it began. One thing we're really passionate about Gateway is praying and basically talking to God. That's all prayer is. I think often it can be a bit scary, or some people feel that praying is for certain people and not for others, but something I've learned in my life that it's purely having a conversation with God and talking to Him. He really loves it when we partner with Him and pray about things that concern Him. And something that we've done over the years is we've set aside time where we will pray together as a community about certain issues. And one thing that we did start doing in 2011 was Sam and myself started praying. We set aside a couple of hours every week, and once a month we would pray for the ending of human trafficking, which is something that is a personal thing for us. We have a really close friend who's heavily involved in Exodus Cry, which is crying out for the ending of human trafficking. And so for a couple of hours every month we said to Helen, we're going to pray for different areas around the world to ask the Lord to break in and end the human slavery that is happening across the globe. And after about a year of us praying for different areas around the world, one lady came to us and she said, why do you not pray for Newcastle? We were like, well, there's not really an issue in Newcastle as far as we're aware of. Sam had done a lot of work on the streets, so he wasn't really fully aware that there was a real human trafficking issue here. But we agreed and we said, okay, we're going to pray for Newcastle. And we would have times of worship and times of prayer for that. And there was so many times when I just really felt the grief of the Lord, and I would be sobbing through those sessions when we were praying for those that were trapped in situations that they shouldn't be trapped in, when we were praying for the perpetrators and those that were doing things that they shouldn't be doing because they didn't know the Lord, and praying for the government and the council and the police to intervene. We then had our first child, Reuben, and so we actually pulled back from doing that for a little while. We'd done that for about a year, and then all of a sudden at the end of 2013 it came across on the news that there had been two ladies who had come forward, vulnerable women who had been assaulted and who had been exploited, and they'd come forward to the police, and Operation Sanctuary began. And we couldn't believe it when we saw this. The name that the police had decided to call it was Operation Sanctuary, and we'd been meeting in the Sanctuary building. The logo was really similar, and since then there were 17 men who were convicted and one woman who were convicted of grooming and sexually exploiting vulnerable women and young women in the West End. And that was in about a mile radius of where we'd actually been praying. And my heart was really touched by the fact that the Lord had heard our prayers. Since then, 278 victims have come forward, 461 arrests have been made, and 90 people have been convicted. And I think the key thing that really spoke to me was on those times when we didn't have any idea what was going on in our own neighbourhood, the Lord knew, and He wanted us to join with Him to pray for an end to this. And there's been a change in our area, and our prayer is that as the Lord breaks in and as we persist in prayer, that there would be transformation where we live for the better.